there, fellow travelers. My name is Chris and I'll be your guide for the day. I'm taking you to Laguna Beach, one of California's most picturesque coastal cities with 7 miles of coves and beaches. Not only can you enjoy the beaches, but also hundreds of miles of trails for hiking and mountain biking. Above all, Laguna Beach is known as an artist town, so everywhere you go you'll find an art gallery, an art installation, an art festival. So like in other cities where you'll have a Starbucks or a Subway on every corner, here it'll be an art gallery. In this video I'll take you on a walking tour of the downtown area, and then I'll release more videos on Laguna Beach in the near future. And with that, let's go ahead and start the tour. Laguna Beach is located on the Pacific coast halfway between Los Angeles and San Diego. Whenever you are visiting, please keep in mind that only 2 streets take you into Laguna Beach. Pacific Coast Highway along the coast and the 133 or Laguna Canyon Road from the inland. This can cause some traffic delays, especially on the weekends. Now let me give you an overview of our walking tour of downtown Laguna Beach. We'll start at the parking structure lot number 6, which also goes by the name Glen Eyre structure. There are several parking lots spread out all over Laguna Beach, and this was the biggest one I could find. I'll leave links with parking info in the description below. We'll head over to Pacific Coast Highway and walk along the street, and I'll point out different things to see and do. Eventually we'll reach Main Beach Park, a beach located right in the middle of downtown Laguna. From here we walk upstairs to Heisler Park, an amazing park with spectacular views. We'll pass by Gallery Row and the Laguna Art Museum, heading south on Pacific Coast Highway, ultimately reaching Ocean Avenue. We'll walk along Ocean Avenue till 3rd Street and then walk the other direction along Forest Avenue back to PCH. At the end of the tour, we'll walk through a tiny alley with a gelato shop, which takes us back to the parking structure where we started the tour. Alright, let's get this tour started. So from the parking structure, we walk over to PCH, Pacific Coast Highway, heading to this area called Laguna Village across the street. Here you'll find several different artist shops as well as the Cliff restaurant where you can dine overlooking the Pacific Ocean. While they are open for breakfast, lunch and dinner, the most spectacular time will be at night during sunset. We continue the tour heading north on Pacific Coast Highway. Across the street you see the Hat Box, which is a store selling all kinds of hats. Definitely a place I recommend for putting clothes on that beautiful head of yours. We passed the Wyland Galleries. As mentioned in the intro of this video, there are a lot of art galleries all over town. And also every first Thursday of the month between 6 and 9 p.m. there is an art walk where the art galleries of Laguna Beach open their doors for a night to celebrate the diverse cultural art scene of Laguna Beach. You can enjoy immersive art experiences like gallery tours, artist demos, live music, and special installations. I'll leave a link below with more info and a map showing the participating galleries. Moving on, we see Skyloft on the other side of the street, which has a rooftop offering some nice ocean views. Alright, now we're getting to Main Beach Park. Due to its proximity to all the shops and restaurants in downtown Laguna Beach, this beach gets quite busy, so don't expect to have a lot of privacy and space to lay out. This area is great for swimming as there are no surfers to contend with and the waves break far enough out to not wipe you out. As I walk along the wooden boardwalk, you see benches and places to sit, and you can also play beach volleyball and even basketball at probably the most scenic basketball field in the world. Even Michael Jordan came here once to play with the locals. Beach hours are from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. and there are lifeguards on duty. In fact, the main lifeguard tower is quite famous and often appears in TV and movies. It's become one of the city's treasures, which was once located at a gas station at PCH and Broadway before it was moved across the street in 1937 by several horses. In the 70s, the city actually thought about destroying the tower as it became too small for the lifeguard force. However, and this is where the artistic spirit of Laguna comes into play, local activists fought hard to preserve the tower, arguing it was a source of inspiration for photographers. They won, and thus art saved this iconic landmark. Today the tower is being used as a secondary outpost for the lifeguards, using it for training, viewing, and storage. Once you get to the north end of Main Beach, you'll see stairs going up. Whenever you're in the area, do me one favor and go up those stairs, because they will lead you to Heisler Park for some really amazing views. Once you first get up to Heisler Park, turn around and enjoy views of Main Beach and Laguna Beach from a higher viewpoint. Continue along the path, you'll pass the Inn of Laguna Beach, a 3-star hotel in a really great location. Just a little further, you'll pass Las Brisas, a restaurant with great outdoor seating and views. They say of themselves that they serve California cuisine with flavors of Mexico. Oh yeah, and these here are public benches, probably the fanciest and most artsy benches I've ever seen. Well, besides the benches at Gaudi Park in Barcelona, which are pretty impressive as well. As we get further north, you'll start seeing more and more surfers in the water, so it's a great spot to watch them ride those waves. Now, while we enjoy these awesome views, let me talk a little bit about the history of Laguna Beach. The Southern California area was first settled more than 10,000 years ago by Paleo-Indians, who were the first people that entered and subsequently inhabited the Americas during the final glacial episodes. Now, specifically here in Laguna Beach, the indigenous people were the Tongva, who lived in as many as 100 villages throughout the Los Angeles Basin and islands off the coast of Southern California. The Tongva, along with the neighboring Native American tribe Chumash, were the most influential people at the time of European arrival. They developed a trade network and vibrant food and material culture. The first European contact was made in 1542 by Spanish explorer Juan Rodriguez Cabrillo, who was greeted at Santa Catalina by the Tongva in a canoe. Today, Santa Catalina is mainly referred to as Catalina, an island off the coast of Southern California. In 1841, the area of Laguna Canyon was named on a Mexican land grant map as Cañada de las Lagunas, or Glen of the Lagoons. After the Mexican-American War ended in 1848, the area was ceded to the United States, and the treaty provided that Mexican land grants be honored, which included North Laguna Beach and was granted to Jose Antonio Andres Sepulveda. Following a drought in 1864, Sepulveda sold the property to James Irvine, a prominent SoCal real estate developer. The majority of Laguna Beach was one of the few parcels of coastal land in Southern California that never was included in any Mexican land grant. Settlers arrived after the American Civil War. Back then, people were granted 160 acres of land if they would plant at least 40 acres of trees. In Laguna Beach, settlers planted eucalyptus trees. In 1871, the first permanent homestead in the area was occupied by the George and Sarah Thurston family of Utah, and from there more and more settlers arrived. The Main Beach area expanded during the 1880s, and the city officially founded a post office in 1887 under the name Laguna, but in 1904 the postmaster at the time successfully petitioned for a name change to Laguna Beach. At this point, Laguna Beach had already become a tourist destination. And what I found quite interesting is that back then, visitors from local cities would just pitch their tents on the beaches, and that was their vacation during the warm summer months. Alright, now as we leave Heisler Park towards PCH, we run into the Laguna Beach Art Museum. This was the site of the first gallery that opened in 1918, and at the time the Laguna Beach Art Association stated its goal of advancing the knowledge of and interest in art and to create a spirit of cooperation and fellowship between the painter and the public. With this, and over time, painters, photographers, filmmakers, and writers arrived to establish Laguna Beach as an artist community as you still know it today. Surrounding the museum, you'll find many galleries, and the area is known as Gallery Row, and I was quite surprised to even find a Polestar dealership here, which is an electric vehicle company from Sweden and is part of Volvo. Alright, now we walk south on PCH back towards Main Beach, and I can finally show you what I think you've all been waiting and asking for. Yep, this is indeed the Mermaid Store. So yeah, quite an interesting store. Anyways, now we are across the street from Main Beach and turn left on Ocean Avenue. At the end of Ocean Avenue, you'll find ARTime Barro, a really great place to learn about and create your own pottery. I'll leave a link in the description below. From Ocean Avenue, we turn right onto 3rd Street and then make another right onto Forest Avenue. On this street, you'll find several restaurants and shops. While you walk around, you'll notice that the vast majority of store signs and even the sign of the post office are made out of wood. You'll also run into more art like this phone booth with an octopus on top of it, which is meant to be seen as a call to action to inspire appreciation of the ocean habitat. As we walk further along Forest Avenue and getting closer back to PCH, we get to a little area that has become a pedestrian zone since the pandemic. There are several places to eat here and, of course, more art. We are now back on PCH, or Pacific Coast Highway, heading south past the Skyloft with the rooftop and eventually arrive at Peppertree Lane. This is a really cool and narrow walkway, and you probably wonder why there are so many people waiting in line. Well, this is where Gelato Paradiso is located, and every time I'm here there is a really long line. So while I haven't tried their gelato yet, I'm sure it's amazing and I'll definitely make a point to wait in line one of these days. And as you get to the other side of that walkway, we get back to the parking structure where we started the tour. I really hope you enjoyed this walking tour of downtown Laguna Beach. If you did, please consider subscribing to my channel, hitting that like button on the video and sharing it with your friends and family. I really appreciate it. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them down in the comments below and I'll try to answer them. Besides strolling through the downtown area, Laguna Beach has so much more to offer, so stay tuned for more videos, and with that I say thank you and Dankeschön!